Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th Canto, Chapter 16. King Chitraketu meets the Lord, text 28. Tata sapta atranete vijaya daryam yam yanaya Vijadara Nipacham Cha Gabheya Pratiham Nipa Tata Sapta Ratranete Vijaya Darya Mayaya Vijadarya Dipajam Cha Vibheya Pratiham Nipa. Word for word. Tata, from this. Sa, he. Sapta, Ratra, Sapta, Ratra, Ante, at the end of 7 nights, Vijaya, by the prayers, Dharmyaya, being carefully practiced, Vijadara, Adipajam, mastership of Vijadara as an intermediate result. Cha, also, Abhay, achieved, Apritiham, tam, undeviated from the instructions of the spiritual master. Nipa, O King Prishi. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. O King Prishi, after only 1 week of repeatedly practicing the mantra received from the spiritual master, Chitraketu achieved the rule of the planet of Vidyadharas as an intermediate product of his spiritual advancement and knowledge. Purport. If a devotee, after being initiated, adheres rigidly to the instructions of the spiritual master, he is naturally endowed with the material opulences of Vidyadhara, Apajam, and similar posts as byproducts. A devotee need not practice yoga, karma, or jnana to achieve the successful result. Devotional service is alone competent to award a devotee all material power. A pure devotee, however, is never attached to material power. Although he gets it very easily without endeavor, Chitraketu received this side benefit of devotional service, which he rigidly performed in accordance with the instructions of Narada. Text number 29. Tata Kritipya Holbir Vidyayeda mano gati. Jagat ma devasya sheshasya charnartikam. Translation. Thereafter, within a very few days, by the influence of the mantra that Chittiketu had practiced, his mind became increasingly enlightened in spiritual progress, and he takes shelter at the lotus feet of Lord Ananta. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. That's what he told me. Right? Oh, he told me 27, 28 and 29. Oh, he told me the wrong thing. Anyway, 27 says, fasting and drinking over water, Chittiketu, for 1 week, continually chanted with care and attention the mantra given by Narada Muni. In today's verse, O King Parishit, after only 1 week of repeated practicing the mantra received from the spiritual master, Chittiketu achieved the rule of the plant of Vidyadharas as an intermediate product of his spiritual advancement and knowledge. I shouldn't read 29? All right. And purport, verse number 29. The devotee's ultimate achievement is to take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord in any one of the planets in the spiritual sky. As a result of rigid execution of devotional service, a devotee receives all material opulences if these are required. Otherwise, the devotee is not interested in material opulences, nor does the Supreme Lord award them. When a devotee is actually engaged in devotional service to the Lord, he apparently material opulences are not material. They are all spiritual. For example, if a devotee spends the money to construct a beautiful and costly temple, the construction is not material but spiritual. Nirbandhan Krishna Sambandha Yukta Vairagya Uchite. The devotee's mind is never diverted to the material side of the temple. The bricks, stone, or wood used in the construction of the temple are spiritual. Just as the deity, although made of stone, is not stone, but the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself. The more one advances in spiritual consciousness, the more one can understand the elements of devotional service. Nothing in devotional service is material. Everything is spiritual. Consequently, the devotee is awarded so-called material opulence for spiritual advancement. This opulence is an aid to help the devotee advance toward the spiritual kingdom. Thus, Maharaj Chittiketu remained in material opulences as Vidyadhara Pati, master of the Vidyadharas, and by executing devotional service, he became perfect. Within a very few days, returned home back to Godhead, taking shelter of lotus feet of Lord Sesha, Ananta. A karmi's material opulence and a devotee's material opulence are not on the same level. Sri Madhvacharya comments in this way: Yantarai ya minam vishnum upasyan ya sanipya gaha bhagavad-yoga jai tasya padamba pranuyam naraha. By worshipping Lord Vishnu, one gets whatever he desires, but a pure devotee never asks Lord Vishnu for any material benefit. Instead, he serves the Lord Vishnu. Instead, he serves Lord Vishnu without material desires, is therefore ultimately transferred to the spiritual kingdom. In this regard, Sri Raghava Acharya comments, Yeteshta gatir iti artaha By worshipping Vishnu, a devotee can get whatever he likes. Maharaj Ketu wanted to only return home back to Godhead. Therefore, he seeks success in that way. Om Arjuna Tiram Dasya Jana Sakada Sakshuni Tamzena Talme Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sabitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Danti Swapadanti Kam Mancha Kalpa Jubhyascha Pipa Sindhu Evicha Harinam Bhavyo Harisnevyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. There was no purport to 27. 28 has a short purport, and 29 has a long purport, and they're all interrelated, so we're discussing 29 today. It says, thereafter, within a few days, very few days, by the influence of the mantra that Chittaketu had practiced, his mind became increasingly enlightened in spiritual progress. Thus he attained his shelter, lotus feet of Lord Anantadev. So there's two topics we want to discuss here today. One is how devotee gets, what happens when a devotee receives opulences. And the other topic is what it says here, he attained the lotus feet of Anantadev. So first we'll discuss what devotees get material opulences. Chittaketu amazingly fasted, drank only water for 1 week, and they got the rule of the heavenly planet called Vidyadhara. The Vidyadhara is mentioned in the 5th canto. They offer prayers to the Lord, and this planet where the Apsaras, or the heavenly damsels, live. But this was an intermediate product. It wasn't what he desired. It wasn't the ultimate benefit of his devotional service. So it was a side effect. The Lord says in the Bhagavad-Gita that Aniyas Chintyanto Mam Vedana Purupsate Tesam Nitya Viyuktanam Yoga Semam Vihami Aham. To those who worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack, and I preserve what they have. So there's one Brahmin, one person, his name was Arjunacharya, and he was a poor Brahmin, Vaishnava. He was studying Bhagavad-Gita. He came upon this verse, and it says, Yoga Semam Vihami Aham. I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. So, aham, he crossed out that word aham because he thought that Krishna, he knew that Krishna could do everything, but he thought Krishna would not come personally to serve his devotee. So he crossed off that word aham. Then he went to the market. Every day he would go to the market and beg some sabjis and some fruits. So he went to the market. But that day the market was closed. And then while he was at the market, 2 boys came to his house. His wife answered the door, and he saw these 2 beautiful boys. One was blackish and one was white. And they said, well, we know the market's closed today, so we brought this sabji for you. But she noticed that the two boys had scratch marks on their forehead. So she said, well, how terrible. Who has done this to you? And they said, well, your husband did that. So, and then they left the sabji and went away. And she was so disturbed how her husband could be so cruel that she took prasadam before her husband came home. And generally the etiquette, the wife never eats before the husband. Then the husband came home and she said, how you could be so cruel to those two beautiful boys? And he said, what are you talking about? He said, well, two boys came to our house, and one was white and one was blackish, and they had scratch marks on their forehead. So he could understand that he made a mistake in crossing out the word aham, that Krishna actually can come personally and carry what they lack and preserve what they have. So a devotee need not make a separate endeavor for opulence or to be materially comfortable in this world. It's like Sudama Brahman. He was so poor, and him and his wife were very poor, and they were shivering, and they couldn't get sufficient food or clothes. But he was never asked anybody for anything. And so he just accepted it as the will of providence. So his wife told him, you go to your friend Lord Krishna and ask him for, she thought maybe he could help improve his material condition. So Sudama Brahman, on the request of his wife, went to see his friend Lord Krishna. But he didn't want to ask the Lord for anything material. So when he did go to see Krishna, Krishna received him very well and honored him as a Brahmin. And then when he left, he thought Krishna didn't give him anything. But when he went back to his village where he used to live, it wasn't a village anymore. It became a palace as opulent as the king of heaven. And his wife wasn't his wife anymore. Or she was his wife, but she had got a new body, rejuvenated, beautiful body, and he also got a new body, rejuvenated new body. But they got that opulence, they didn't misuse it. If someone gets a gift, opulence, something opulent, if he misuses it, that's the gift of Maya. But if he uses it in devotional service, that's the mercy of the Lord. So Krishna gave Sudama Brahman so much opulence, but he knew that he would not forget the Lord and not misuse it. It says here, Nibandan Krishna Sambandhe Yuktavaragya Uchite, that whatever we utilize in the service of Krishna, then it becomes spiritual. The same thing with Bali Maharaj. He was a Lord Vamadev. Bali Maharaj was the king of the demons and conquered over the three worlds. So the demigods approached the Lord for help. So the Lord went to Bali Maharaj as Vamadev, dwarf incarnation. And he asked Bali Maharaj, Bali Maharaj says, what do you want? I can give you charity. So Vamadev said, I want 3 steps of land. So Bali Maharaj said, well, I have so much land, and you're only asking for 3 steps. That's not very intelligent. But Tugacharya was the spiritual master of Bali Maharaj, and he was a materialistic person, not a Vaishnava Brahmin, not a Vaishnava spiritual master. So he told Bali Maharaj, don't give Vamadev anything because he's Lord Vishnu. If you give him what he wants, he'll take everything from you, and I won't get my family maintenance. So therefore, you don't have to give him anything. But Bali Maharaj didn't listen to, he rejected his spiritual master because he gave him the wrong advice. So Vamadev took 2 steps and covered the whole material, everything in the material world. Then he said to Bali Maharaj, where should I put my 3rd step? Because I've already taken everything. So Bali Maharaj said, you can put your 3rd step on my head. So, but Vamadev was not satisfied with that. So he arrested Bali Maharaj with a snake rope and threw him in a cave. But ultimately, he gave Bali Maharaj Sutala, a place in the lower planetary system called Sutala, and he gave more opulence than the king of heaven. And Vamadev became his doorman. And when Ravana came to attack the capital city of Bali Maharaj, Vamana kicked him 80,000 miles. So in this way, also Bali Maharaj was given so much opulence, but he didn't misuse it for his own sense gratification. He used it just for the purpose of, he continued to practice devotional service and be a devotee. But if sometimes devotees may inherit a lot of money and may give up the practice of devotional service, become enamored. The material energy is very strong. So a devotee may become enamored and leave Krishna consciousness. So this is not Krishna's mercy, this is a gift of Maya. If someone gets material opulences and causes them to leave devotional service, then it's a gift of Maya. The Prabhupada also says in here, temple construction. Rupa Goswami says we should not over-endeavor for mundane achievements, constructing buildings, skyscrapers and things. But Nectar Devotion says this does not apply to temples. We should endeavor to build temples, to build costly temples. As Prabhupada was in Mayapur, and some man came to see him and asked him, why did you build this temple? He asked Prabhupada, why did you build this temple? And Prabhupada said, if I didn't build this temple, you wouldn't come here. So devotees, we don't need big temples, but we construct big temples so the public, those who are entangled in material life, can get an opportunity to take the devotional service or get purified. But Prabhupada also said that he was in a conversation with Ramaswar Prabhu. He said that the BBT would give 50% of whatever their income for constructing temples and 50% for printing books. But Prabhupada said, he stressed the fact that book distribution was more important and that should not be stopped in any circumstance. Because the book distribution is what Bhaktisiddhanta wanted and is the Brihat Madanga. You can do street kirtan and the chanting will be heard for a very short distance. But if we distribute books, then those books can go all over the world. And we've seen in many cases people have gotten books and they weren't interested. They gave the book to someone else and that person read the book and became a devotee. And if people get a book, they may not read it, but people don't throw away books. They keep them on their bookshelf. So it's like a time bomb. It can have an effect in 1 year, for 10 years, or 20 years even. Sometimes people had seen that book on their bookshelf and didn't look at a Krishna book or Bhagavad-Gita, and after 20 years they decided to look at the book and they read it and they became devotees. So Prabhupada wanted all these things, temple construction and book distribution, to go on side by side. But he stressed the book distribution. So here it says the deity is not made of material elements. So someone sees the deity as made of stone or wood, it's considered that he has a hellish mentality. But the deity is there because we have material eyes and we can't see something spiritual. So Lord agrees to accept that form at the time of Pran Pratishtha, when the installation, the Lord agrees to enter into that form. And the form of the Lord and the form of the deity are non-different. It's such an Ananda. So, but the deity form is like the post office. The post office has its main office and it has so many boxes where you can put your mail and it will get delivered. So the box represents the post office. So the deity in the temple is the Lord, but if something happens to the deity, the Lord is not affected. It's not that something's happening to the Lord. Because the Lord can enter that form and he can withdraw himself from that form at any time. This is all arrangements of Yoga Maya. So here it says it's to attain the lotus feet of Ananta. Ananta is an expansion of Lord Sesha or Lord Balaram. He has 4 arms and white complexion. He's not Krishna, but he's Balaram. So, attain the lotus feet of the Lord is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam at least over 4,000 times. The lotus feet of the Lord is very important. Generally in the material world, someone's feet is not very attractive. When we look at a person, we don't think their feet very attractive. But the lotus feet of the Lord is different. And the lotus feet of the Lord has 19 different symbols, signs on it. The signs of the Lord are there are signs of skies encircling each other, externally, internally. Below that is an unstrung bow. Below that is a calf's hoof. Below that calf's hoof is a triangle. Around its 4 sides are 4 water pots. There are below the triangle is a half moon, and its 2 ends are touching the 2 corners of the base of the triangle. Below the half moon is a fish. Thus there are 11 markings on the right foot, 8 markings on the left foot, Sri Krishna, and there are thus a total of 19 markings on the beautiful decorated lotus feet of the Lord. And tomorrow is Radhastami, so we get the privilege of seeing the lotus feet of Radharani. And this is only happens 2 times a year, once on Radhastami, one on Gopastami. And Radharani's name is not mentioned in the Bhagavad-Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, because Radharani is very confidential. Just like if you have something valuable and you go to the Lord Bazaar, you want to keep it hidden so no one knows you have something valuable. So Sukadeva Goswami didn't mention Radharani's name because he considered her name very valuable. And also, if he spoke her name, he would have gone into samadhi or trance for 6 months. He couldn't continue speaking. So tomorrow we get the darshan, which will be at 7:30, of Lord Radharani's beautiful lotus feet. So I worship Sri Radha, whose lotus feet are endowed with 19 great auspicious markings, of which on the left foot are 11 markings of an umbrella, disc, flag, vine, flower, bracelet, lotus, upward line, elephant goad, half moon, barley corn. On the right foot are 8 markings: the Shakti, club, chariot, sacrificial order, earrings, fish, mountain, and conch shell. So someone may claim to be an incarnation of God, but the Lord has different markings on his body to prove that he's the Lord. When Lord Chaitanya appeared in Navadvip in the house of Sachimata, they saw the Lord's footprint on the floor, and there was only the baby there and Shalagram. So they couldn't understand whose footprint they were, because the Lord's footprint had all these markings on it. So they thought it was the Shalagram, footprints of the Shalagram. But actually, they realized later that it was actually the footprints of Lord Chaitanya. So these lotus feet of the Lord is a topic revealed in discussed in Srimad Bhagavatam 4,661 times. And the lotus feet of the spiritual master, the lotus feet of the Vaishnava, is also very precious. The lotus feet of the Vaishnava and the dust from the lotus feet of the Vaishnava. These are very powerful substances. When Lord Chaitanya had a fever, and he couldn't break his fever, they tried so many things. So he said, you wash the feet of a Brahmin. So they washed the feet of Brahmin. Lord Chaitanya drank that water, and his fever subsided. That was not a Mayavadi Brahmin. That was not a Smarta Brahmin. But that was a Vaishnava Brahmin, a pure Vaishnava, devotee of the Lord. So then when we speak of Brahmin, we speak of Vaishnava Brahmin, who's a devotee of the Lord. There's a distinction. Someone may be a Brahmin, have all good Brahminical qualifications, but if he's not a devotee of Krishna, then he can never do any benefit for anyone. He cannot deliver anyone, even himself, or even his own family members or himself. So a Brahmin must be a Vaishnava. A Vaishnava is superior to a Brahmin. And anyone, no matter what kind of situation he's born into, if one qualifies himself, he can become a Vaishnava or a true devotee of Krishna. So we sing every day, 2 times a day. We sing Samsara Dava, Narali Loka. One day, Garoshi Charana Arvinda. I worship the lotus feet of the spiritual master. At Guru Puja, Sri Guru Charana Padma, Kevala Bhakti Sadma. At the lotus feet of the spiritual master is the only way to attain pure devotional service. So not only Krishna's lotus feet are very auspicious, but the Guru's lotus feet also are very auspicious. And if a Vaishnava comes to your house, exalted Vaishnava comes to your house, if you're a householder, then the first thing, then you should wash his feet with his permission. Prithu Maharaj, when the 4 Kamaras came to his house, he took off his royal dress, put on deerskin, washed the feet of the 4 Kamaras, and sprinkled that water on his head and on his family members to show the proper etiquette of receiving a pure Vaishnava. The gopis were also always desiring to get the dust from Krishna's lotus feet. And when they'd go to the forest and they'd see the kumkum from Krishna's feet, they would smear that all over their body to relieve their lusty desires. Of course, those weren't lusty desires, those were spiritual lusty desires. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, many places it is described. It says, the lotus feet of the Lord are by themselves a shelter of all places of pilgrimage. The clear-minded sages, carried by the winds of the Vedas, always search after the nest of your lotus-like face. Some of them surrender to your lotus feet at every step by taking shelter of the vast rivers, the Ganges, which can deliver one from all sinful actions. O my Lord, persons who smell the aroma of your lotus feet, carried by the air of Vedic sound through the holes of the ear, accept your devotional service. For them you're never separated from the lotus of their hearts. When the breeze carrying the aroma of tulsi leaves from the lotus feet of the personality Godhead enter the nostril of the four Kamaras, they experience a change in body and mind, even though they were attached to impersonal Brahman understanding. The gopis spoke thus: Dear Lord, whose navel is just like a lotus flower, your lotus feet are the only shelter for those who have fallen into the deep well of material existence. Your feet are worshipped and meditated upon by great mystic yogis and highly learned philosophers. We wish that these lotus feet may also be awakened within our heart. Although we are only ordinary persons engaged in household affairs. And it also says in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, simply by chanting the holy name of Krishna, one can attain freedom from material existence. Indeed, by simply chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, one will be able to see the lotus feet of the Lord. And in the Rig Samhita, it says, the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu are the supreme objective of all demigods. These lotus feet of the Lord are as enlightening as the sun in the sky. So there's many, many more quotes and references to the lotus feet of the Lord in Srimad Bhagavatam. But the Chitraketu, he was able to get the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord only after 1 week. He fasted and drank water for 1 week. But this is called Kripa Siddha. There's Sadhana Siddha, there's Nitya Siddha, and there's Kripa Siddha. The devotee, by practicing his sadhana very rigidly for many, many years, we don't know, it may take a few lifetimes, contain perfection. That's sadhana siddha. And then there's nitya siddha, those are the eternal associates of the Lord who come down with the Lord to assist in his pastimes. And before we read in the Krishna book, before Lord Krishna took birth, he told the demigods to take birth and to assist him in his pastimes. And many of his eternal associates also came from Golok Vrindavan to assist him in his pastimes. So these are Nitya Siddha devotees. And when Lord Chaitanya appeared, he also is the eternal associates, like Ramananda Roy and Subdhammadar, or Lilita and Vishaka. They came to assist Lord Chaitanya in his pastimes. And although they are gopis in Krishna Lila, they took male forms in Gaur Lila because Lord Chaitanya was a sannyasi and he did not associate with women. So if they took women bodies, they couldn't assist the Lord in his pastimes. So for the sake of assisting the Lord in his pastimes, they took male bodies. And many of the other associates of the Lord are Nitya Siddha devotees. But Maharaj Chitraketu, he got Kripa Siddha. He got the mercy of the Lord in only 1 week. And this is compared to getting a university degree without going to school. Some people make academic achievements which the school appreciates, so they give someone a degree without going to school. But this is rarely given. One cannot expect that he can sit at home and just enroll in the classes, not go to class, and not study the books and get a degree. this will not happen. But occasionally they give someone honorary degree. So this Kripasiddha was a word to different personalities, like Jagai and Madai. Jagai and Madai were so sinful that when Yamaraj told his scribes to write down the sins of Jagai and Madai, there was 1,000 scribes. After 1 month of writing down the sins, they said, we can't do it. It's an impossible task. So Jagai and Madai were very, very sinful persons, but the only sin they had not committed, the only offense they did not commit, was Vaishnava Aparad. Believe it or not. They went in Navadvip, where Lord Chaitanya appeared, and you would seem they would have committed Vaishnava Aparad. But they didn't commit Vaishnava Aparad, so the Lord agreed to deliver Jagai and Madai. And when Jagai and Madai were delivered from their sinful activities, they immediately started chanting 2 lakhs of the Maha Mantra every day and became great devotees. This is called Kripasiddha. And there are many other examples of Kripasiddha. The 4 Kumaras is mentioned here. When they went to Vaikuntha to see Lord Vishnu, just by smelling the aroma of the tulsi leaves offered to the Lord, they were converted from impersonalists. Now there's the 3 kinds of realization, or 3 have the absolute truth: Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So they were Brahman realized. This says, Bhagavad-Gita says, Brahma-bhuta prasanatma nasoshyati nakanchati samasarveshu bhuteshu ma bhaktim labhre param. So one may be Brahman realizes not his body, but that is not complete realization. So Sukadeva Goswami was also an impersonalist, and the 4 Kumaras were impersonalists. They had Brahman realized, and the 9 Yogendras were also Brahman realized. They knew they weren't their bodies, they knew they were spiritual, but they didn't know the ultimate goal was the Supreme Personality Godhead. So by the grace of Lord Vishnu, the 4 Kumaras, by smelling the tulsi leaves offered to his lotus feet, they became Vaishnavas, or pure devotees of the Lord. So in this way, the devotees get opulence. They don't misuse it. It's the mercy of the Lord. If they misuse it, it is a gift of Maya to keep them in the material world. The devotee uses what he has in the service of Krishna. It's purifying, and it will help him to make advancement. So we should only accept the bare necessities of life for our maintenance, for our living. Even Mugari the hunter, he got the mercy of Lord Narada Muni. This is also Kripasiddha. He was a fierce, angry hunter, and he was in the habit of half-killing animals. So Narada Muni told him, you should stop this business. But then he said, well, how do I get my maintenance? He said, don't worry. You just build yourself a hut, live on the bank of the river, worship Tulsi, and I'll take care of all your maintenance. So he did that, him and his wife. Narada Muni told him, you just take 1 cloth, give away all your possessions, and just live in this hut, chant Hare Krishna, worship Tulsi. So this Brahmin, this hunter, became a great Vaishnava. When people heard this, they were amazed, and they started bringing him so many different things. So Narada Muni came there with his friend, Parvat Muni, and when they came to see Mugari the hunter, instead of offering obeisances, he was jumping up and down. So when they got to him, they asked him what he was doing. What's the problem? He said, well, I didn't want to step on any ants. So this cruel, vicious hunter, who his whole life spent half killing animals, didn't even want to kill an ant by becoming a Vaishnava. This is Kripa Siddha. And Prabhupada writes in the purport there that we should accept prasadam on a daily basis, and we shouldn't save anything for the following day. We should only, whatever comes that day, we should accept that, and whatever's left at night we should give away. And we should simply depend on the Lord for our maintenance. And Magrari the hunter told Narada Muni he was getting too much prasadam. So Narada Muni said that anyway, to whatever you should just give away whatever you can't utilize. In the same way, devotee, whatever we get on the one day, we should only not save anything for the next day. Of course, this doesn't apply to householders. People have family and children; they can't expect them to follow that. But for brahmacharis and sannyasis, we can follow that to the not rigidly. Of course, if we have to travel, or if we have health problems, it may not be possible. But in any case, the main thing is to depend on Krishna every day. Krishna is sending food for the elephants, 100 pounds of grass every day. He's sending food for the ant, 1 grain of sugar every day. So as human beings, we should not think Krishna is not supplying all our necessities. So those are 2 topics, Krishna's lotus feet and Lord getting opulence. Now I have to go in the kitchen. Our time is up. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Now we can all bow down at the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada, as Dina Bharana will say, at the soft and gentle lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada.